Today, I'm going to start with some more inspiration. I feel like we just can all use inspiration today. I'm going to invite one of our thrivers to share her inspiration from this journey. Janelle, would you please hop on the mic? Let's chat.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you and see your beautiful shining presence. Janelle, how did your thriving journey begin?
So I had a friend share the book with me back in February. She and I had read the book, How the Body Keeps the Score, and had appreciated that. And she said, if you liked that, you'll like this. So I read it and was so excited that there included, a website with additional materials. And of course I went on and I was like, everything about this book and this theory is resonating with me. I had been in therapy for years. I had gone to my last therapist and said, I want to get to the root of my problems. I need to know what is causing my issue, like my struggle, my imposter syndrome, my, compulsion to eat, to soothe and, cope. Like I'm having issues, but so she tried, and it was my first exposure to EMDR, but it didn't solve everything. So when I read your book, I said, this makes sense to me, because I am an ambitious person. I want big things for my life. I've always felt like there were big things for my life, and have not, I walked right into the patriarchy plan, got married young, was a mom. That I'm very happy with all those decisions to a certain extent, but it wasn't who I authentically was at the time. So I got hooked up with your website and learned about the May TTE. And after that weekend, my family can attest, like I walked out of that experience a new person, or at least like this glimpse or this vision of what my life could be. And I was realizing that I was disconnected from my desire. Like when you asked, what are your authentic desires? I couldn't answer. I didn't know. But I knew I wanted to find out. I'm 47 and I started this year with my intention being that I wanted to know myself, that I wasn't going to spend any more time on this earth without really knowing myself. And I made that back in January. So you are the manifestation of my intention. So after TTE, I knew I wanted to continue the work because I couldn't let this go. So I signed up for the Thriving Solution over the summer. And as that was coming to a close, I could not be done. I was still making gains and knew that whatever it was that I thought that I could do on my own was not enough, and wanted to have the community, wanted to have connection with you, with Jeffrey. And so I attended the August TTE. And this is really the pivotal point. I attended the August TTE, where my imposter syndrome was standing in the way of me fully embodying my expertise as a nonprofit executive and with a commitment to social justice. And I decided that what I really needed to do was go to law school. Like that was what I needed to do in order to really be that. And so I was very proud to announce to my Thriving Solution group on our next call with Dr. Valerie and Jeffrey that this is what I needed to do. And Dr. Valerie, you came right in with that holy righteous fire and was like, those of you who might have been there may remember, why would you give the patriarchy thousands of dollars so that they can anoint your expertise and your strategic view? And it was shocking. And she did what she does, like she raised her voice and she used her choice words, and it changed. And I was like, right, why would I do that? I have over 20 years of experience. I know what I'm doing. Like, I don't need some person to give me a certificate that makes me credible. So I decided to, instead of enrolling in law school, thank God, I decided to enroll in the Thriving Circle. And not only have I continued to learn all of the material and embrace the tools, but my sisters in the circle I mean, they are really what is helping fill out the community for me. So I'm continuing to do the work with Dr. Valerie and with Jeffrey. You've heard us talk about our pods. Dr. Valerie, this is fresh off the press, so you don't even know this yet. I had a meeting with you on Wednesday, and I asked you about whether or not we can use these tools to process big T trauma, because the little T trauma I get, collective, ancestral, I get. But my own experience, and I'm sure every one of us have some form of big T trauma that we experienced ourselves, and it is ours because we experienced it directly. And you said, as someone who has experience in talk therapy, that you have seen some shifts with talk therapy and it has its place, but that this work actually can shift big T trauma. And I was skeptical because it didn't feel safe. Well, this morning, I shared with my pod that I was struggling with this issue that is a big T trauma from a work issue in years ago, 2013. I have been dealing with this, and I have sought therapy for this. I have done EMDR for this, and it still is with me. And I shared my struggle with my pod. One of my pod sisters, Elise, you're a goddess, called me, and she used your tools, Dr. Valerie, to walk me through my experience. Mm-hmm. And it was the first time I've ever been able to process this in a safe way that had nothing to do with, like, it was about me. All she did was walk me through all the tools that you've been teaching us. And it was amazingly powerful. I am forever grateful. And I'm just getting started. Like, my circle started in September. You know, we have 44 more weeks left. And I can't imagine what I'm going to be able to accomplish. And this is just one example. Like, I've also had incredible breakthroughs around my body and my body image. That's a whole nother conversation, but if anyone wants to talk about patriarchy perfect coupled with compulsive eating for coping with stress plus religious upbringing around food restriction, let me know, hit me up. But yeah, it is the one thing that has truly worked. I'm forever grateful. I'm grateful to you, Dr. Valerie, for doing the work and stepping out, because I've looked everywhere for this. And my life is forever changed. And I just can't tell you how meaningful that is for me. It saved me.
Janelle, in awe. And our conversation is so present with me about you exploring and just really asking that question. Is it possible to work with big T trauma using these tools? And that's why I love questions, because they take us, right? The question coupled with desire and willingness, that's what opens the door. And it's that manifestation gets more and more instantaneous. You ask the question, boom, the solution is right there. And that's that shift from survival to thriving. That's what it actually looks like. And I love that you shared the story of me yelling at you at the call after TT, like, what? You're gonna go to law school? That's your jailbreak moment. Gonna spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on what? You're already an expert. And I was so delighted that it landed well when I got possessed by the spirit.
That is feminine wisdom right there. Feminine wisdom.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to what was coming through for you, through me. I'm so honored. And I love saving our thrivers lots of money. I do love that. Somebody who has invested hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands in various things, various degrees and multiple programs. Like, okay, let's start with here. Let's start with empowering you fully, and then do whatever you want to do. Like, take other things like you want to learn, but know who you are fully, own that fully. And from there, from that authentic place,